BetOnline remains your number one source for all your sports betting this season. You'll always find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends at BetOnline. With live betting options, free contests, and live scores for almost any sport or game imaginable, BetOnline is truly the fastest and easiest way to bet all your favorite leagues and events. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to join and receive your 50% welcome bonus with your first deposit. Make sure to use the promo code BLEAV to receive your rewards. BetOnline.ag, where the game starts.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Iron Butterfly podcast. I'm your host, Polina Edmunds, and today on the show, I'm so excited to talk about the men's event. We're going to be recapping men from Boston Worlds 2025 with the one and only Olympic champion, Brian Boitano. Brian, I'm so excited to get to chat about the men
It's
with you.
fun. I spent a lot of time with you in Boston. That was fun. So it's like fun to rehash what we already talked about.
Totally. I mean, we got to watch the men's free skate sitting next to each other, so now it'll be extra fun to think about our reactions
Yeah.
during all of the skaters. But tell us a little bit about what you were doing in Boston with Brian Boitano's Lounge. It was the first time that you got to do that at a world setting.
That was fun. I mean, every night we had about 30 Olympic team members in there, and like every night, probably seven Olympic champions. So it was really cool from all different countries too. And then I would do a panel each night. Like I did a world champion ladies panel on the ladies final night. And then I did a mixed panel the next night. Alyssa Liu stopped by. So I do like these question and answer things in the lounge. So one side of the lounge is people enjoying the, elevated food and the cocktails, and then the other side is if people want to listen to sort of, a question and answer panel. That you've been on the panel before because we did something fun with you guys, the Olympic team from 2000. What was your year? 2014?
2014.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
which was really fun. So I try to mix it up. It's just now all the alumni wants to hang out at the lounge, which is really fun. So after the events, everybody comes up. It's like an old home week.
Yeah, it's definitely nice as an alumni to have a place that's kind of a reunion where everyone can see each other rather than randomly bumping into each other on the concourse level. But I think the panels are just such an excellent way for everyone to learn from each other. And also, I think the fans get such a kick out of listening to them in person and getting to ask questions as well. So I love the lounge. I'm always in there.
And it's like, I think for people who, they don't know how we interact with each other and our lingo and what we talk about, it's kind of eavesdropping on our regular conversations. That's kind of what it's like. So they see how all skaters mix with each other and what they talk about actually at skating events.
Yeah, exactly. I'm so glad that you created the lounge. It's going to be great.
I know.
Well, what was your overall impression of Boston Worlds? Because from my perspective, it was magical with how loud the crowd was, how full the arenas were. But that's kind of an ode to, I would say, like 80s, 90s,
Mhm.
2000s
Yeah.
skating
Yeah.
events. And I feel like we got that experience at Worlds. So what did you think about the event?
Yeah. It felt like everybody's been saying, oh, it's like people have been kind of a little bit down on skating for the last, many years. Just like, why can't we get the popularity back? And our coliseums are empty and, blah, 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 blah. This was like stepping back in time. I mean, like you said, it was like the 80s and 90s, full every night, like what, 15,000 people in there every single night. Really knowledgeable crowds, which Boston, there's so many great skaters who have come from Boston. Knowledgeable crowds, excited, super supportive. I loved that about the crowd. Like, if someone took a fall, the next jump that they would land, they would go like bananas. So
Yeah.
supportive, right? I mean, I love that. And the energy in the building, just everybody was there. It was like an important event. And we haven't felt that in so long. And it's just kind of like a sigh. I know you and I talked about it, but it's like a sigh of relief, like, there it is again.
Yeah, I think having a crowd that cheers on skaters in the early warm-ups as well as the later warm-ups, it's not just that they're cheering for the skaters that are the most famous. It's whatever skate really electrified the crowd. I think that was probably one of the most special parts is it really didn't matter who you were or where you come from. If you skated a great program, the crowd was on its feet. So yeah,
Yeah, I
very,
mean,
very
there
special.
were there were 15,000 people in there for the first group of ladies and men. I mean, it's not
Yeah.
they didn't come in for the last two groups. They were there for 35 people.
hmm Yeah, and there was a huge line sneaking outside the arena before the events started too, which was really cool to see from an outside perspective as well. I remember passing in an Uber by, I think like the beginning of one of the events, and the Uber driver was even asking me, "Hey, what's going on at the TD Garden? Why are there so many people here?" And I was like, "It's Worlds. It's
Figure
Worlds,
skating.
baby." Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right, well, let's get right into the men's event. It was full of so many talented skaters, and they all skated really well. So let's start out with our champion, Ilia Malinin, two-time world champion now with this win in Boston. What did you think?
I mean, he's amazing. And the thing that I kept saying to people is like, we have to not just take for granted what Ilya does anymore because we kind of like do this whole thing where, yeah, well, is Ilya, and then what'd you think about Yuma Kagiyama? I mean, it's like we need to. And when he's skating, I know you and I do that. We're like, oh my God. And like we sit in a group with like, Scott Hamilton and Christy Yamaguchi, and we just like kind of shake our heads and roll our eyes because it's just so amazing what he's able to do and so seamlessly and effortlessly. So I think that we have a tendency to just kind of like not dismiss it, but just be like, oh yeah, well he does that, and that's what he does. He's so fantastic, and I just keep reminding myself of like, okay, let's just break it down and think about how hard it is that he does. I don't care if it's like a little easier for him; it's still amazing, and the bar is set so high. And there are it's more than just his skating that I love Ilya. I just love his energy, his attitude. He's so sweet. It's almost he has this little boy energy. You and I talked about that. It's just everything about him. I just really dig him. And it just even makes his skating better. And I think he's improving so much, his component scores, and he's really trying hard. He's not just resting on his laurels. He's like, well, I have a quad axle, and if I land everything, I'm going to win. He's trying to branch out. He's trying to make himself better, and I really appreciate that as a skater. And he's in a very tough situation. I mean, he's smart enough to know that there are people chomping at his heels, and he knows that he has to keep improving. And he just doesn't sit back. I've seen other champions like at the top of the world, like world champions that are just kind of like, a little bit like set in like, oh, I'm the top of the world, and they kind of relax a little bit. I don't see him doing that at all.
Yeah, I think it's very clear that he cares and he is really enjoying this environment of coming in with the name and the expectation on him and the pressure and kind of running with it. And he likes it, which is pretty unique for an athlete to not get intimidated or super fearful of it. He really just lets it energize him. But also, he has definitely shown improvement in his artistry and components and choreography this season. Can he do more? Absolutely, but he's also so young, so he's already taking massive strides, and I'm excited to see what he continues doing. But in terms of us kind of just being like, oh yeah, it's Ilya, classic Ilya
Sure.
with his
Yeah,
performances here. I think that's also such an ode to the amount that we can trust him to
Mhm.
deliver, which is such an amazing quality in any
Yeah,
athlete. I mean, we always talk about Michelle Kwan winning like 10 championships, and the reason people loved Michelle Kwan was because she was reliable and you knew when you could turn on the TV she was going to skate well and she was going to get a medal for USA. And Ilya has a very similar quality to him where we know he's going to be on the podium. Yes, it is still a fight for first place. He does need to skate well, which is good. It's really good for him as a
yeah,
competitor to
yeah.
not be resting on his laurels. But we also know that we can count on him to get some kind of medal, most likely based off of his content. So it's definitely a huge, huge plus for us as Team USA to have him representing. But yeah, just so impressive what he's able to do and mentally focus in on. I think in terms of the quads, like there were a couple unders in he got some cues on his protocols. So if you're looking at like being harsh on the technical with that, that was probably his only little mess up other than in the free skate. I think he had one pop. He
Mhm.
doubled a Lutz. But the content, I mean, he did six quads in
Yeah.
that free skate,
Yeah.
including a quad axel. So it was a well-deserved win, I think.
And I think, the thing about him that I'm fascinated by, and I think that I think you will get what I'm talking about. And I don't think you and I have ever talked about. You and I were very rigid in our protocol of how we warmed up. It was always very the same way. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like the 6 minute warm up was the same way. The practices before were the same way. It was like very rigid. And I remember Nathan Chen being so flexible in his like, oh, I'm going to change my jumping pass and I'm going to put the quad flip here and then the quad sow here. And I was like, oh my God, that's fascinating to me. I was fascinated by that because I kept everything the same. But
Yeah.
Ilya is that way too, with like, you never know what to expect on the 6 minute warm up. I mean, he might do this jump and not do that jump, or he might wander around a little bit or do nothing and still be fantastic. I love how he listens to himself because we know that being an independent skater when you're out there alone is really important to be able to embrace, and for the coaching staff to be able to, like, Roman probably knows, he's like, my son makes these decisions. I'm not going to tell him to do something if he doesn't feel like doing it because he knows what's best at this moment. And I just love that whole thing because it's more of the trust that you and I talked about. It's like, oh, he didn't even jump for this warm up and he's gonna, I trust that he's gonna be great.
He has the inner intuition to know what he needs to do
Mhm.
and to not force anything. And for him as a skater, having that uh, knowledge is so helpful because for sure, for a skater like me or a skater maybe like you that had that more rigid ritual for our 6 minute warm-ups, us changing something at the last minute would have really affected our mental focus to deliver. But for him, he has that practice of switching it up and feeling whether or not he's gonna be able to do it. It's funny, I was talking to Nicole Bobeck about that as well when we were recapping the women. She was also saying that she was the type of skater that gets on the warm up and she's either feeling it, she's gonna go for it, or she's not. And I definitely can't relate, but it definitely is person to person. So he's someone that works for him. Keep doing what he's doing.
And I think it's very mature for a 20-year-old to have that composure in that way and make those decisions. It's really, it's an amazing thing.
Yeah. I also was super, I didn't watch many of the gala performances, but his gala performance from Worlds came up on my Instagram feed yesterday, and I watched it, and I was also just very impressed with his ability to kind of connect artistically in lyrical programs. I think the style just suits him so much, and he has so much potential to kind of like put those qualities into a competitive program. So I'm really excited to see how he grows moving forward in
Yeah.
that angle of his skating as well.
And actually, professional exhibition skating, all that professional skating, or not professional, but exhibition type of skating, is going to really help that because, when you get an opportunity to do a tour and you do it multiple times, the program just becomes what you really want it to become by the end of when you've performed it so many times. So I really look forward to seeing that too.
Exactly. All right, well, let's talk about our silver medalist, Mikhail
Ooh.
Shaidorov from Kazakhstan.
I
Oh
can't get
my
that
God.
dumb. I can't get that combination out of my mind. I swear to God. I'm like, wow. I was sitting next to you and I was like, that literally went from blue lined to, I mean, no, like it went even further than that, like blue line to hockey box. I'm like, what? I mean, that's just crazy.
Yeah.
Undervalued.
Oh my God. I mean,
Whatever he got for that, it was undervalued.
I would totally agree. His free skate was just insane. Opening with that triple axel, half loop, quad sow cow. I mean, first of all, I don't think anyone's ever done that in competition before. So, wow, what a moment. But like you said, the amplitude, the ice coverage, the direction, it
Yeah.
couldn't have been more technically perfect. And it was so funny sitting next to you and Scott and Christy, and we all just like collectively gasped. And we were like, wait, what? And yeah,
I mean, because you don't see
wow.
huge triple axles anymore. I mean, they're kind of
No.
swingy, and nobody does great triple axles anymore. Or not nobody, but like, it's like you don't see it regularly. They're just different now. And to see
Yeah.
that monster of a triple axle, it's like, oh my God, I love that.
He has such a great step up. So
Yeah,
so many of the skaters now, they don't really step their knee up. It's
yeah,
more of a jump forward and turn
yeah,
right away.
yeah,
And it's interesting comparing even if you're looking at Mikhail's jumps versus Ilya's, who Ilya has also technically wonderful quads. The difference in something like Ilya just easily stepping into a triple axel with no
yeah,
speed
yeah,
versus
yeah.
Mikhail coming in with all of the speed and it just taking up the entire ice. It's so crazy to see two men with perfect technique used in kind of different ways. I mean, I totally prefer, honestly, the amplitude and the
Yeah.
coverage of
I like it.
Mikhail's, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Um, yeah,
I mean, it's
it,
impressive that Ilya can do it from a spread eagle stand, like literally.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, and it's like a little breath. It's like that. I mean, it's so easy, but to see that the enormous and the thing too is that he skated third in the. I mean, he just looked fresh as it. I mean, it's the opening thing, and the music starts, and usually it's not like a little something to warm up. It's like just this monster thing right off the bat after he's been waiting for what? Half hour or 40 minutes after. So I mean, so
It's so true. And
crazy.
then he
And
went
his
and did a quadlets
breakout
right
is like
after.
this much above the ice. I mean, like he could add a half a turn onto those things.
No, exactly. He is, I think, the technically, in terms of the quality of his delivery, I think he was the best in the free skate for that clean skate and the quality of his jumps. I would honestly love to see Ilya like do his quads with the same amount of speed and ice coverage if that was something he wanted to like
Yeah.
work on,
Yeah.
because obviously his quads are great. But Mikhail, in the short program, he skated really well as well. He did a quadlets triple toe. Um, his transition, I told you about this, Brian. He does this really, really cool, like forward lunge, stands right up and does a quad toe. And it's so impressive, the difficulty. I know we always play around with transitions and jump transitions, skill drills when we skate together in San Francisco. I genuinely don't think that I could do a toe loop off of a lunge like that. It
I know what
just,
we're trying on Friday.
oh no.
I mean, and
Oh
by
no.
we, I mean you.
We'll make Jeremy try it too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think watching a skater deliver so well like that is always it gives me goosebumps. But he is a skater that has been very consistent as well all season, and he actually won 4 continents before coming here. So I'm so happy to see him on the podium. But yeah, what did you think overall, like program? What was your takeaway from Mikhail?
I thought it was amazing. And it's funny because part of my mind was like I competed against his coach, Alexei Ermanov, who's the Olympic champion from 1994.
Yeah.
And I saw so much of Alexei Ermanov in his skating. Like he looks like Alexei did at that age. So it was like, this is so cool to see like a mirror image of, Alexei, but with his own style. I just think how old is he again?
He's young. Here, let
Yeah.
me
I mean, he looks
let me
young.
quick check.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Here we go. He's 20. He's the same age as Ilya.
I mean,
So, yeah.
he'll be doing 5 rotations for sure by the end of his career. I don't know
Oh
when.
my God.
I mean, like he'll definitely be doing 5. I mean, he could have done 5. I mean, he had enough room on that. Like after the half sow cow quad, I mean, he still could have fit another rotation on that quad sow cow, and he did like a triple axle half loop before it. But I think, it's I think, I mean, honestly, the thing. the thing that people don't talk about and they need to realize is at 20 years old, you need to focus on your technical stuff first because that's the stuff that's going to take you to honestly take you to Olympic gold. It's the time to get under your belt, your technical side, and then what comes on top of that is your, the more artistic side, the more development of a mature skating aspect. And so for me, he's doing exactly what he should be doing, and he is spot on. I mean, I don't know if I've ever seen anyone skate like that at 20 years old. It was incredible. And next year will be a
Yeah.
really good test for him because he's going to have a little bit more pressure. And that's the whole thing. That's why for those people who don't like other skaters who watch this will understand that you focus on your technical so that you can get it under your belt. So as the stress and pressure becomes more and more in your life, as you become more well known and higher in the ranks, that you can do those technical things under pressure because you have that backlog of experience behind you. And then you layer on top of it, you know, more, edge quality, skating skills, component, artistic, just all that stuff on top of it.
Exactly. And it comes in building blocks, and he's doing exactly the right thing. He also, earlier in the season, was doing a triple axel quad toe loop combination. So he's
Crazy
playing
was.
around also with these crazy new combos. And it just like it's so cool to see two men at the same time pushing the boundaries on technical in sport in these ways. And I think it's so good for both of them to be competing against each other at the same time. They're the same age. It's gonna really push both him and Ilya to kind of keep advancing and not get lax just because their technical is so superior.
Yeah,
Um,
that's
yeah.
right. Yeah, and they're both going to get better because they're pushing each other,
Yeah.
and that's going to make a great competition next year.
Yeah, I'm really excited and really happy for him. Well, let's talk about Yuma Kagiyama from
Oh,
Japan.
I
I
love.
know.
I
In the
mean,
bronze medal seat.
yeah. I know. I'd never seen him do that. I think it
Yeah.
was the skating order. I think he kind of felt the pressure of that moment, right? Because he skated right after Mikhail. No, was it right after Mikhail? Yeah. Right? Or
Yes.
someone, yeah.
Yeah, it
So I
was
mean,
after Mikhail.
I mean, people went wild. It's the pressure. This is the kind of pressure that we were just talking about of why you focus on your technical for so many years before, because when that comes into play, you need to know that you can do it. I mean, like honestly, if anyone has a textbook like Quad Sao, it's him. Like he should get plus sevens on that. They
Oh
should,
yeah.
I mean, it's like textbook. And he even struggled with his quad sow. So
Yeah. It
that,
was crazy. In the short program on his quad sow, he rotated like this in the air. He was completely angled, but he was able to land it in a perfect landing that almost made you forget that he was like this in the first place.
yeah.
Uh, that was crazy, mental grit to just know that he was going to land no matter what. So I definitely expected him to kind of have that same fight mentality in the free skate, but instead, I think setting the tone, he opened with the double on his quad flip attempt. It was a double flip, and it all went downhill from there.
Well, and you and I, like in the warm up, we were watching the quad flip and it was like swoosh. I mean, I hadn't seen his quad flip since he tried it earlier in the season and it was like a little hairy or two-footed or something like that. I don't remember what. But when he did it in the 6 minute warm up, I was like, wow, it was a technique similar to the quad sal, like perfection. And I was like,
Hmm.
oh my God, this is so under his belt. So it had to be really sort of disconcerting for him to pop it into a double. It's just such a hard way to start off. But, that's, that I was surprised that of all people that I thought it wouldn't affect him, I thought he would be the one. And it wasn't like it was, really bad or anything from then on, but it was, definitely not the performance that I am used to seeing from him.
Exactly. And I think it's interesting you mentioned that skaters like Mikhail and Ilya, who have been doing these quad lutzes and these quad flips and whatnot, multiple seasons now. Like they focused on the technical first, and they're very comfortable now that they're a little bit older. And now they're working on that artistic. Yuma's been doing quad sows and quad toes for the last couple of seasons. I've never seen him actually do the quad flip in competition. So it just, I think that's something that's also a little bit newer for him this season, and he's feeling that pressure to up his content to go against an Ilia with all of those quads. And so that is way trickier in the world setting to have this inner pressure of I have to land this quad flip if I want to win double. He
Yeah.
doesn't have the same
Yeah.
experience of using it. It's a new jump for him. So
And that's, I mean, at that, that's a good point. And that's more about what we talked about is like, you know, nobody should debut a new quad in an Olympic year because of what we talked about of like making sure that it's under your belt and you trust it and you go out there on the ice when in this high pressure of the Olympic Games and you know that you can do something. So he really needed that quad flip so that he could rely on that like next year when he's going like I did it at Worlds last year, I can do it. You know, it's like this whole mental dialogue. So he could have really used that. Not that he's not going to do it perfectly next year, but he really could have used that. And someone was telling me, I don't know, were we sitting together that someone said he does quad lutz too as well? I don't know. I heard that in the audience, but I was thinking, uh, to add two new elements within 2 years on an Olympic year, it's like really ambitious.
it's hard. Yeah, I think the mental focus that's necessary for adding new jumps at this level is vast. And not to say that he won't be able to do it, but I think he's going to need to practice it at every competition he enters next season to know that he's confident enough to do it when the stakes are high at the Olympics. But yeah, I think in terms of his performance quality, though, he's so far ahead in terms of ice coverage and speed and connecting with the audience and the music. I think the short program, he stood out for sure in terms of that perfect pin drop silence. We're all captivated by every movement was perfect and beautiful and elegant, and he's artistically so well polished. He has such maturity to his skating that uh, skaters that Ilya and Mikhail still have, time to work on and time to grow. Yuma's already there.
Mhm.
He's working on the opposite now with the technical. So if he skates two clean skates, even with just what he has, the quad toe and quad sow, he's gonna be right up there because the well-roundedness and the beauty of his skating stands out.
Yeah.
Um, but, unfortunate free skate for him. Really great that he's still on the world medal. I'm sure that he's really thankful that he still got the bronze.
It's probably going to create a little fire under him, which will actually help. So nobody
Yeah.
likes to be in that position, having a bad skate at Worlds the year before the Olympics, but he'll be much more eager next year, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, and I can't wa wait to watch his skating next year because every year that his programs come out, I'm always so wowed. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. All right, well, in fourth place, we had Adam Saio Him Fa from France, who really climbed in the rankings. I think he was sitting in ninth after the short. Didn't have a great short program. He fell on his opening quadlets. The rest of the program, he was fighting for his elements, but in terms of the beauty of the program and the artistry. Thought it was so well done. He has so much speed.
Mhm.
And then he came back with that dune free skate and he did so well. I think he did four quads in that program total. He landed four quads and the only mistake was he fell on his last triple axel. We all were kind of like, oh, but other than that, I mean, it was a great program. What'd you
Yeah, I
think?
love him. I love him. I mean, I think he's so well-rounded. I enjoy every aspect of him. That triple axel kind of frustrates me. I
Yeah, we
don't
all
know.
said we sat there and kind of looked at each other and we were like, really? After that great of a skate, like you're gonna finish it like that? Oh,
Um,
darn.
I don't know. It's like it like chops straight up. It like kind of goes directly up like from the takeoff. And that's great because he has a lot of height. But sometimes it's wonky, right? With the leans that he has.
Yeah.
Um, he's so good. It should be more consistent than that. You know what I
I
mean?
feel like he kind of loses control in the air with the height that he gets. Like he jumps so high that
Yeah.
he's not totally over his right. So many of
Yeah.
his jumps are kind of like centered or even leaning left, and he saves the landing rather than him being fully centered. And I
Mhm.
wonder if the height and how high he jumps has to do with that. Like he's not really controlling it until he's in the air.
Yeah.
No, but
It's like, yeah, it's like like a little puppy like with a lot of energy and he like takes off and it's just like it's like Ilia's quad axle. It's like a rocket that goes straight up. Like, right? They
yeah.
take as soon as they hit that toe pick on the skid, like the skid, it's like poop, it goes straight up instead of like at a like an arch. And I feel like because goes up like a rocket, if he's a little bit this or a little bit that, it's gonna throw the whole thing off, you know? So, but yeah, it's definitely it's beautiful when he does it. It's just got so much height.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just a little frustrated because I really wanted him to hit it at the end.
Same. And it was a great program,
Yeah.
Dune. We saw a lot of Dunes at Worlds, but his was definitely a really entertaining one.
Yeah.
Music Cut was great. So I liked that he was able to climb back up to that fourth place spot. I know he was hoping to do what he did last year and snag a medal with that free skate, but honestly, he's been out for most of the season with injury. So
Yeah.
for him to come to
Surgery, right?
Worlds,
Too? Was it surgery?
yeah,
I'm gonna get that.
on his foot, I believe so.
I
And
mean, that's
so
amazing what he's done in that regard with that happening earlier.
I mean, such a quick recovery and comeback, honestly, from that perspective, to be able to come to Worlds and do four quads of the free skate. Whoa.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think he's in a good place to be able to really come in next season hot.
Yeah.
And he is definitely, again, right in the mix of those top men.
Mhm.
Uh, so,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, Kevin Amos,
Yeah.
fifth
We
place
loved him.
finish.
We loved him, right?
He was beautiful. He did quads in both the short and the free skate, one in the
Yeah.
short, two in the free skate, and two clean programs
Yeah.
basically with
Yeah.
landing everything. So he's such a fun skater to watch with really honing in the artistic part. It doesn't really feel like you're watching a competition with him. It feels like you're watching a show program in terms of him connecting emotionally to the music and trying to tell a story. So I
Mhm.
always appreciate watching him, especially live. But yeah, definitely one of the most beautiful, artistic skaters in the entire event.
Yeah. And I talked to him a little bit after the last day when we're going to the airport, and he said that he sometimes he sometimes has, I think, trouble in consistency and competition, but he's really working on that. I think he's getting, um, he's working on concentration and like relaxation and stuff like that, things that are really important. I mean, honestly, it's such an important part of the sport at this level. Being able to, to be able to focus and because when he's on, he's so good. He's so good because he has everything, and people really like his skating. They really like every aspect of it. And so, man, I was so happy to hear that from him because I think it's, just everybody can always improve in that way to just, wrap their mind around, around competitive performance and being better in, mentally. It's really important. So I was glad to hear that he's doing that, and I think it'll really help.
I think so too. I think with his uniqueness of the balletic quality, he's so amazing and elegant with the toe point and the gracefulness, the extension, the gentle yet powerful qualities to his skating. You want to see a skater like that deliver technically because it's the whole package. And so, where he may have struggled with that in the past, it was great to see him here bring it all together, skate those two clean programs, and end up in the top five. It's exactly where he should be. So.
And it's like to have five diverse and amazing skaters like we have in the top five. Um, it's really interesting. It's really interesting. It's not just watching Ilya like go out and win and then, oh, where's everybody else going to end up? It makes it's super exciting. And they're so all also different. And I absolutely love that they're all so different. And I think it's going to make an incredible year next year for the Olympics.
I agree. And there's even more men that
I
are
know.
so good. I mean, Shun Sato sitting in sixth place, also
Yeah,
from Japan. I mean, the
amazing.
Japanese field is so, we didn't even get to see Mura here, who also has been
Yeah.
great in past seasons. But Shun, he did such a beautiful short program, quad lutz, quad
Mhm.
toe. I believe he put his hand down on the quad toe, but beautiful triple axel and another just amazing, gentle, fast, powerful skater. The artistry, it's so polished. Free skate, he did multiple quads. And he's doing the hard quads too. He has a quad flip in there. He does quad lutz in the short. It just
I hadn't even seen him
where
in
is it all
this
coming from?
competition. I know. I was like, my God, he's amazing. Where's he been? And it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, you know who everyone is, but I'm like, wow, this is crazy. I mean, because the depth in Japanese skating is so, so deep that they're, just they keep making, it's like better and better and better and better. It's like just so amazing.
Yeah, they really have a handle on flow. I
Yeah.
think they stand out in almost every event
Yeah.
across all disciplines in terms of having so much speed and so much flow,
Mhm.
but with that, so much control.
Yeah.
It's not like they can't handle it and their extensions aren't finished because they're going too fast. They
Yeah.
are like perfectly primed in every way to hit the most beautiful position and not lose any speed, and then all of a sudden do a technically classic huge jump.
Mhm.
It's yeah, they know what they're doing for sure. But yeah, I loved his artistry. I think he skated so well. I'm really happy to see him in the top six.
Yeah.
Junwhan Cha, also from Korea. He skated pretty well here. Did the quad sow in both programs, which
Yeah.
is huge for him. We were kind of talking about his triple axel entrance is a little rough
Oh,
to watch at this stage.
double, a double. Yeah.
Yeah, he kind of slows down a lot before, and it's just a really long entry, and then he uses his upper body to kind of get him up there instead of just relying on the leg power. So that's a little bit more obvious to watch in a field of men doing beautiful
Yeah.
triple axels.
It's also nice. We didn't talk about this. How nice is it to see someone doing a triple loop combination? Because we don't see combinations anymore. We see step double axel, step double axel. It's like, triple combinations are going away. It's so nice to see him doing it one and so well. And a hard, like, you and I talked about this. I mean, triple loop combinations like he does should be worth their value is really underrated.
Yeah.
Compared to step double axles. I mean, there's no contest.
No, I mean, that's something that I am really surprised to see the point difference be so close to each other in terms of you could do a triple Lutz or a triple flip landing step double axel sequence, and that's worth the same as a triple Lutz triple toe, or in his case, a triple Lutz triple loop. And it is completely night and day different on what is actually more technically difficult as a skater. And I think it's so strange that they're worth the same. So when I see a skater do a triple triple combination, I'm like, boom,
Yeah,
respect.
I
Senior
know.
level at Worlds, you should be doing a triple triple, not a triple double axel
Yeah.
sequence.
It would,
But you know,
I'd love to be, I don't know if they have meetings or whatever on this, but I'd love to have been in that. When she's
I know,
been
right?
in that meeting when they're discussing, I'm like, is any other skater going to stand up and talk about two double axel, step double axel after that is not as hard?
Well, I mean, to be fair, in the field right now, I think all the skaters are probably thankful that they don't have to do a triple triple anymore. So no one's gonna fight for it. But I think the real ones know. The real ones know. So
Yeah.
it is like that. But yeah, another just like great artistic skater. He's wonderful to watch as well in terms of his connection with the crowd. He feels a little bit more unrefined to me than some of the other guys in that top six. But he's also really young. So he has more growth to do in that area as well. But
He has a really good baseline. There's not a lot of expression. But that's something that you learn how to do. That's the layering of, doing things. And he has a really good baseline. His positions are all good. His stroking looks nice. It's like all all, not basic stuff. I don't want to say basic, all the foundational stuff is really, really good. And he's been layering on it well. I mean, he's improved since I've known, a few years ago. He's really, really improved in the last couple of years. So he's just building on that foundation really well.
I would totally agree. And he skates with so much speed. It's really
Mhm.
evident in person, especially. So when he opens with his quad sow in both programs and he lands it, it's got so much flow, and it's very impressive. So hopefully he is able to skate well next season. And I'm sure he will because
And
he
he
has
did it
been.
all with those things hanging off, like those pieces of fabric
Yeah,
off his shirt, which would have absolutely driven me crazy. I'd have been like pulling those things off in the middle of the program.
it's
That's
like a
like,
sensory overload. Yeah, that's so funny. Oh man. Well, Jason Brown sitting in
wow.
eighth place
I know.
overall.
And like almost was, you know, I mean, it's amazing. He was at what, 265? He was he almost was in seventh place, right? I
And
mean,
he was fourth in the free skate, which is
it's
wild with
phenomenal.
the content that he has.
But you know what? It's like everybody in the skating world keeps going like, you guys gotta throw marks at the components just like you do the technical side. And we see it with this. And so it's funny because I don't know. I love Jason Brown and I love that he's still in competition and he's representing fantastically. So if I hear people criticizing him for not doing quads, I'm like, I look at his score here and I'm like, yeah, he should. He's that much better than most people on, hit the quality of his skating and I mean, just the way that he is just, I mean, he's so in command of that artistic score. I mean, it's effortless for him, but yet when he does the program, he looks so rehearsed. He's so precise. I absolutely love that about him. Every move that you break down from every moment is the same every single time. And by the same, it's perfect. Like, just all the in-between stuff, just even like a step sequence, if you just show him doing like a left rocker into a back outside loop, it looks exactly the same and he's in a perfect position all the time. That deserves that score. So I really don't care that he doesn't do a quad. I just want to see him skate clean and be as perfect as he is. And that's for me, that's enough. I don't miss it. I don't want to see Jason Brown going out and like, oh my God, I don't want to be nervous for him sitting there going like, oh my God, I hope he lands a quad toe. It's like, I just want to see him go out and do what's under his belt and do it great. And that's, so pleasing to me.
I think that's what's so satisfying about watching him as well is he comes out and he does what he can and he does it well. It's not like he's struggling with the elements that he has. He knows that quads were just not in his deck of cards. He knows that up to triple axel he can skate a clean program and he has honed and polished that over the years to be able to show a beautiful program from start to finish and quality in almost every single element throughout the program. So yes, in that way, especially when you're against guys who are taking the bigger risks with quads but aren't landing them, we have people who are making technical mistakes or, things like incorrect edges or whatnot. Like they're going to fall behind because he's skating such a clean and beautifully polished performance. So it's so nice to watch him deliver that in the free skate. I know the short program didn't go quite that way for him. He had a couple mistakes, a double, I
Well,
believe,
yeah.
as well as the triple axel was definitely under.
Mhm.
Um, but in that free skate, it was great. I mean, I think maybe like the second triple axel in his free skate was probably a little bit under. Don't think it was called, but in general, like all of his elements were really well done, had flow, no question about those. So it's exactly what the US needed to clinch the three spots for the Olympics next year. And that was kind of the whole reason why US figure skating did put Jason on the team, even though Jason hasn't been uh, performing all season, really. He missed a lot of the season because
Yeah.
of blade issues or boot issues, sorry. He was having equipment problems with his skates. He wasn't at nationals, but he came in and did his job with the free
Yeah.
skate at Worlds. So
I mean,
thankful to Jason.
for him to deliver like that at Worlds when he hasn't competed that much during the season, it's that backlog of good performances that I have seen before he even made a world team. In nationals, he was like fifth and then sixth and then fifth and then seventh and then fifth. And it's like, and he skated clean every single year when he like, when he had his ponytail. And it was like, this kid is really good. The only problem is they wouldn't give it to him because he didn't do a triple axel. And it's just that backlog of him being able to do it so consistently all those years that he's now able to deliver that when he needs to. And you know what? Right?
Yeah. So go, Jason.
So
Hope to
Jason,
see him kind of repeat that same type of free skate quality next season.
yeah,
Um, and yeah, he's in a good spot for this upcoming Olympic
yeah,
season for sure.
did himself well.
Well, in ninth place was Nika Egadze from Georgia. He did many quads. So in the short program, he delivered a clean short with two quads, and it was really well done. His technique. When you watch the slow motion replay on the jumbotron, I was looking at that slow mo replay for so many of the skaters, and he was no doubt about it, perfectly backwards.
Wow.
In the free skate, also he did a pretty much clean skate. I think his only mess up, he did two quadlutzes, and the second quadlutz was a little iffy, I think.
Yeah.
But he's a skater that technically is so great, but artistically definitely needs a lot more development. He was the one with Iteri Tukberidze who
Oh,
was
okay.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember. Yeah, I remember him because I saw him compete earlier in the season somewhere. I can't remember what it was. Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, he's a great technical delivery skater. I think he needs programs that really show off his personality because I think there were people around us that were saying actually in galas he's very entertaining and really fun to watch, but in his competitive programs he kind of chooses these like serious music pieces
Yeah.
that it doesn't really feel like he connects to.
Yeah.
Also super funny in the short program, he has the same music as Andrew Torgashev, who this was Andrew's second season skating to this short program. And it was kind of interesting to watch the same program music that is more niche. It's not like a big, like a Carmen or a Phantom of the Opera where
Yeah.
it doesn't feel like directly um, too similar, but their music piece was like the same. And there was even a couple really similar choreography moments with Nika compared to Andrew. And I was sitting there and I was like, this is really interesting. Like, where did that come from? Yeah, so I'm curious to see what they all skate to next year.
Yeah,
But
right.
also in 10th overall was Nikolaj Memola from Italy. He was the one that was like 6'5".
I know. I mean, like,
Super
I saw him
tall.
on the ice. I'm like, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
it is amazing that he can do all of his jumps centered so well with that center of gravity being 6'5". I mean,
I mean, the only reason
whoa.
that, I mean, like, because he's this thin, right?
Yeah.
Like, he's
Yeah.
tall, but he's thin. So if he was tall and really muscular, I think it would be harder for him to do it. But I mean, that's stunning that he's able to do as much as he can at that height. I mean, it's just amazing.
Yeah. I think in the free skate, it's interesting. He does two quadlutzes in the free.
Yeah.
And he also does triple lutzes, and they definitely are all taking off the inside edge. So interesting choice of that many lutzes in the program. I think he gets an exclamation point for it on his protocol, but I'm watching those slow-mo replays. I want to see him take off the
Like
outside edge.
exclamation point means not such a bad inside edge. Is
It's
it
yeah, it's
not for
not.
bad inside edge? Is that what that means?
I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong on this, but I'm pretty sure that an exclamation point is more so for the GOE for judges to
Oh,
know
okay.
versus an edge call is actually a lower base value and lower GOE.
Oh, okay.
So when they do the exclamation point, I think it's a little bit more of like on the line. They can't tell if it's a clear edge or not.
That's
So
fun.
it gets kind of iffy where the judges decide to call one or not. But
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to see him. I want to see him fix that Lutz because otherwise his jumps are pretty great. And I actually love his triple axel in the short program. He did this like Spanish style program and it was full of a lot of like beautiful details. He had
Mhm.
great landing positions, a gorgeous triple axel with this like hand flare
Yeah.
landing position. And I was like, okay, I see you. I really like
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Free skate, I think, was a little bit, I mean, it's a longer program. It can be harder to be as artistic as a short program. So I think he has development to do on that same quality for the artistic side, but I really liked his short program.
Yeah, I mean he'll just keep improving. I think it's hard at this point to like correct and like a let's take off. Like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's ambitious.
Yeah, I mean, he would definitely need to take, the spring and summer to just work on it, but
Dude, after the Olympics.
yeah, I mean, whew. Yeah, I think it's as someone who also has long lines, having the ability to actually fully stretch and finish all of the lines for him to be 6'5" and actually do that
Yeah,
and look polished is really impressive.
it is
So
really impressive.
yeah. Also, we were in the lounge during his free skate. I remember I think I was talking to Linda Lever and Sandra Bezic during his skate, but I was watching the screen. Deniss Vasiljevs from Latvia,
Yeah.
he's coached by Stefan Lambale.
Yeah.
He had a killer free skate also. It was
No,
a
I
clean
wish I would have
program.
seen it. I mean, I didn't see it. I missed it. I've seen him many,
We were
many.
yapping. Yeah.
Yeah, I know we were yapping, but he's really good. I mean, I think that he's so entertaining and he's got such a presence, right? And I don't know, it's probably Stefan, like his coach, Stefan's coaching. He has such a presence. He has definitely a personality and a character on the ice.
Yeah, he really strikes me as like he has such with his style of skating, it's so masculine but also artistic at the same time. He doesn't look like it's like the perfect blend of having this ballet and elegant quality with the extension and the turnout and the back posture, but he's not like a really thin skater like some of the other skaters. Like he's filled out and he has a great look on the ice. And so when he skates well, like he did in the free skate, it really comes together. I remember hearing the crowd roar for him. And he was in the second warm up. So he was in one of the earlier groups, and the
Yeah.
entire crowd gave him a standing ovation. He did two triple axels and a quad toe in that program. I think maybe two of his jumps were maybe a little under, but like landed everything. And it was one of those like moments for the Boston crowd. So I'm happy that he got to have it in Boston.
So, should he have been higher than ninth in the free skate?
Well, I think he had a mistake in the short program. So that probably overall skating in that second warm up as well, like kept him a little
Hard.
bit lower.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he had a pretty good score for the free skate. I think he was sitting in that
Mhm.
first place chair for a lot of the third warm up. Um,
Sure.
Yeah, I know they had that at like the production of Worlds was pretty
Uh,
funny with that
the
leader
guy.
chair right next to the kiss and cry. Oh my God, I would hate sitting there
I
for
don't think I
so
would
long.
have sat there. I mean, it's like I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I,
You would
I
have
I
had
like
the
it
gaffer
more.
take me to that chair.
I like it when they have the lounge in the back where you can sit with your coaches and like maybe friends. And the cameras are on you and they're watching you if you're in that leader spot, but you're at least behind the scenes sitting there. So it's kind of it feels weird to have to sit there and either celebrate or feel
Yeah.
bummed right next to the people that are getting their scores right away. I don't know. I wonder if the skaters enjoyed it because I think this was also a new thing. So I wonder how the skaters felt about it.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'd get mixed reactions
Yeah.
depending on,
I'm sure.
what it felt like. But yeah. Okay, well, last but not least, Andrew Torgashev. We
Dev.
gotta
Oh,
we gotta talk about our boy Andrew.
I love that boy.
I know, he's
I
great. He had a
really felt
great
like
short
he was gonna
program.
have. I really felt like it was gonna be his year. I really felt like he was gonna do well. It's like
Yeah. It has
I'd love
been
to
up
talk
until
to
this
him to see
point.
what he's thinking. Like, you know what I mean? I mean, I'd love to get in there and go like, just okay, what was going in your mind? What was the issue with the free skate? He's just been so in the zone,
Yeah.
so in the zone. And I know you and I talked about it's like I was worried at nationals because like on the half hour warm up before the event, like that's a couple hours before the event, he just was bombing away like quad, triple axel, quad, 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 like just like going at it. I'm like, and they were all really good until he was like started popping them. I'm like, just relax, just don't do it. And then he did it on the 6 minute warm up too, and he was like doing like a bunch, and I was like, wow, dude. But then I found out that that's just how he does it. Like, he's just, he does that a lot. So he's used to that. I mean, like you or I would like do one and done, like, right? During the warm up, it's like do
Exactly.
it well and save it for the program. You don't want to leave it in the warm up. And I was like, oh my God, this guy's gonna leave it in the warm up. And he didn't. He didn't. But something else was going on. He was nervous or something for the long. But he'll be back. He's really good. He's really good.
Yeah, I'm curious about your thoughts on this because I was trying to think about he's had such an excellent season. He's been able to deliver on both of his Grand Prix as well as nationals. And then he did skate pretty well in the short program. I think his only mistake was a little bobble on the landing of his quad
Like a
toe,
low,
but
the low hip.
yeah, but he still landed it. And then
Yeah.
he did a beautiful triple axel, triple X, triple toe, great performance, beautiful artistry. And in the free skate, it just none of his jumps were on. Everything was off. Like we all were kind of like, oh, he like this is every jump is like this. Every jump is him fighting for the landing. It's not like he kind of got his feet under him after a couple jumps. And so I wonder, looking at what the only difference is between Worlds for him and um, all the other competitions he's done so far, from an outside perspective, of course, is that all of his other competitions, he was with Brandon Fraser at the Kiss and Cry, and they kind of have this, they're friends, so they have this like more nonchalant, maybe probably joking behind the scenes type of repertoire, like taking the pressure off Andrew, not so serious for handling the stress, versus this is the one competition this season that Raphael was there. And he trains
Yeah.
with Raphael at home, but having, somebody that's more serious behind the scenes trying to
Mm.
coach you right before this huge moment, I feel like would be tough for me as an athlete to have a change like that. Um, and then it did seem like he was, really stressed out and ended up skating not the way he wanted to skate. So I wonder, could that have played a factor in how he handled the nerves? Because we know that he can technically do everything. We know he can deliver. This is completely a mental performance, not a physical flaw that he has. So what is your thoughts on something like that?
Well, what I noticed about him in the long was his techniques were slightly different when the music
Mm.
came on.
Yeah, we were talking about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has a technique that he does into his triple axel and his quad toe that he like sort of starts his arms winding, like starts like rotating like that. And he has to keep it's when someone does that going into a jump, when they kind of throw their arms, it starts the rotation. You have to have your body and your skates keep up with that rotation. And it's a matter of exact timing versus someone who just sets their body going in and they just wait until they're ready to jump and then they make the decision to jump. If you start your arms rotating, you're like, oh my God, my body's going, I got to keep up with it. And on both of those techniques for the triple axel, he was on a tighter, he actually was faster with his rotation like that. So, and he was also on a tighter circle. And I think he had a tighter circle because he was rotating so much faster. He had to stay on that curve. So it was actually slightly different than I had ever seen it before. And I think that's maybe what threw it off, or at least what I sensed threw it off. It was just the tempo. It has to be exact for him with the technique, and it always usually works for him. But in this case, it seemed a little faster. So I don't think he was
Yeah.
keep up with it.
Yeah, he seemed on his takeoffs for the quads and the triple axles to be really sharp on the curves. And
Yes.
typically he does have kind of a curvy entrance for those,
Yeah.
but they're a little bit more relaxed
I
and a
was
little
just
bit
using that word.
flatter of an
Yeah.
edge.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And these were really tight and really edgy, and then it didn't work for
Yeah.
him. So Yeah, I
It's
mean,
like because when he starts and it's too, what happens is that he if he starts and his arms are too fast, then he starts to lean outside of the circle, and then his position's not the same at takeoff time that it usually is, right? So I think that all just threw his to timing and his momentum off. And
yeah,
I don't know what the reason for that was, or if he even knows that that was happening. You know what I mean? But
yeah. I
that's
wonder, I wonder how early he got to the competition as well, because the men skated last. They skated Thursday and Saturday.
mm,
And so uh, I wonder if he kind of was really on for his first couple days of practice if he got there earlier in the week. And then by the time it was Saturday, it was just like too long of the sustained adrenaline of
fatigue.
performing in front
Yeah,
of everyone in
yeah,
practices. Because you do feel that stress in practice too. It's not like it's only reserved for
yeah,
competition. So I am just like you, I'm watching people do a million clean, run throughs in the official practices, and I'm like, please save it. Please
yeah,
save it for the competition. Don't use this now. And so I think that, every athlete needs to figure out what the right rhythm is for them in terms of competing and handling that adrenaline. When your peak is it during the first 1 to 2 days that you're there? Is it in days 3, day 4? If he was there all week and he competes on day 6, for example, or day 5, like maybe it was too far along for him to kind of lose that on factor. It'd be interesting to talk to him about it. But
and
hopefully he's doing all of those like strategic reflections right now because as a skater, you kind of go down the rabbit hole of, oh no, I didn't have the skate I wanted. Like, what does this mean for me as a skater? And you get so much self-doubt and lack of confidence. But he should be really, really, confident with how excellent his season has been up until that World
yeah,
Free Skate. And he needs to really strategically think about what did I do? What were the rhythms that I was able to accomplish everything in those other competitions? And what was different at Worlds that I need to not do again,
yeah.
you know?
And that's the learning curve of a first world championships, right? We all learned something really important from our first world championships, right?
Yeah. I think this was his second
Oh,
Worlds.
what? Really?
Yeah. I
Oh, wow.
believe so.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But I mean, there's nothing like skating
Yeah.
in Boston at a world crowd. Even I was sitting there and I was like, I can't believe we're in a
Yeah.
world championships right now. Like worlds to me is somewhere far away. Uh, I was sitting there thinking like,
Did you
it's
ever
kind of
compete
like going to
in a world
nationals.
in America?
Well, there was Boston in 2016 and I
Okay.
was on the world team, but I had gotten injured right before and I had to pull out. I was
Okay.
there to watch.
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't skated at a worlds or like big international competition in the States, only nationals in Boston in 2014, which was similar vibes to this, but again, it's a nationals, so
Yeah.
a little bit different.
Yeah.
But yeah. Well, yeah,
Well, I
any
mean, like each different competition, you learn something more. So even though it
yeah.
wasn't first, it's like, he'll learn something from this too. So
Yeah. And he's so talented
very
and
talented.
so well developed artistically already, skating skills wise, as well as having the technical. So I think if he just comes back in strong next season,
Yeah.
he is one of our best US men. So
We've always liked him. It's just it's got to be frustrating. And I know it's like, you just know how he feels and it's frustrating, but just it's waiting that whole nother year, right? That you're like,
yeah,
I want to just go out and do it right now again.
totally.
Yeah.
But that's how it goes. Charge
That's
it to
how it
the game
goes.
and keep it moving. It's good.
Yeah.
All right, well, any final thoughts on the men's event in Boston?
I don't know. I think we covered everything, right? Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, I think next year's going to be exciting. I can't wait. I can't wait for Olympic season, see how it goes. And just like the depth of talent and everybody that we talked about, they're so good. They're so good. It makes it so exciting. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll be sitting next to you next year as big old fans in the audience.
It's
Wringing
gonna
our hands
be
for everybody. Come on, buddy, do it.
Yes, it's going to be incredible. I can't wait. We're already less than a year away from the Olympics, which is crazy to think about. And I think this next season is going to be really exciting for skating fans. And even if you're not a skating fan and you tune in next season, because it's the Olympics, we're gonna have some great skating. So I'm pumped. I'm pumped. Always glad to talk about skating with you, Brian. I love your insight, and I feel like we have very similar brains when it comes to
Yeah.
all of this stuff. So
Yeah.
thank you so much for coming on and talking about the men with me.
I'm the moth with the iron butterfly.
I love it. I love that. Okay.
I
I'm
love
all in, Brian.
it.
I love it. For
See you in
everybody.
2 days. We'll work
Yeah,
on the clip.
see you on the ice soon.
Yeah.